Thank you.
Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
What's up, bitches?
Oh, well, that's some Friday energy right there, if I ever did see.
Welcome to Friday. No, I'm ready.
Sweet.
There's so much to get to, and I'm just trying to keep it all in my brain.
Okay.
All right. First thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge a text that we did not get to read on the air.
Okay.
So hopefully this person listens to the podcast. I don't know. This is from a 630 number. We do a Friday chant to, oh God, what's the name of the band, Holly?
Loverboy.
Loverboy. Everybody's
working
weekend
for the
weekend. Friday. And we say what we're doing for the weekend.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, hearing Friday chant equals smiles. All is felt from y'all over the radio waves. Your energy, heart, and realness set you all apart from the rest in the best way. All this to say, keep being you. Love y'all. Thank you.
I did text them back. I said, thank you so much. This means the world. Because it really does.
It does.
Like, just makes us feel special and good.
It does. It's good. Because that's the thing. And we've talked about this before. And we're not going to go into a whole thing about it because we've talked about it. But, you know, part of our job, it is our personality. This is who we are. And so, but this is a business. And this business, there's money at stake. And you have consultants. And consultants will give you their tips of what they think you should do.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's a little hard because it's you at the base of it. And it's not like, hey, be better at counting money or be faster or do a better PTS report or whatever.
Do this spreadsheet this way.
Right.
And you're like,
Be
all
like,
right,
no, that sucks, but
fine. I'll
It's very
file
black
my
and white.
right.
documents in a better manner.
But when someone's like, hey, stop doing that part of your personality or tone that part of your personality down,
Mhm.
which, hey, we are performing and that's what you do. Like if Meryl Streep is on a movie set and she's acting and they have to channel a part of themselves, but they say that's not what
Too
we're looking
much.
for, then she's got to adjust. It's a performance and there's money on the line.
Yeah,
And I'm
true.
sure, obviously, any singer, songwriter, band, when they're recording in a studio, someone is on the other side of the glass being like, too much.
100%.
No high
Like,
note.
pull the vocals back a little bit.
Mhm.
Like, so in any artistic career, like anything in that way, in the arts or the creative space, it can be difficult to take some constructive criticism,
Yeah.
obviously.
Because it's
Yeah.
you. So
It's you.
it's really nice to get those type of text messages on top of the criticism that we get and we need from the people that are like our coaches. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Mhm.
Real quick, I didn't want to because we didn't have time on the last podcast to get through. And plus, I just wasn't feeling well on Wednesday when we did the podcast. That's why I was like, won't y'all talk?
That's a
You were
rough
really,
one.
you were over here being like, what about this, Kelvin?
Girl,
And
I've
then just
been-
quietly
I
sitting.
was like, me?
Yeah, girl, tell me everything because I was still hungover
And we're
from
like, well,
Atlanta.
what about you? And you're
I was like,
like,
I ain't got no. I don't want to talk. I don't want to open my mouth. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to read some of the last few ratings, reviews that we got on Apple Podcast.
Mhm.
The username is wait times gone, and this is am I 500? I really wanted to be the 500th review, so I have been waiting and watching. I started listening to you guys here in Tampa when I had an hour drive in the morning. I moved closer to my job and didn't get to listen to you as much or as long. I was so happy when the podcast became a thing. Thank you for bringing a smile every day. You guys are awesome. Thank you for what you do. And then there is Alexis M941.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first started listening to the Miguel and Holly show in Tampa, I was not a fan.
Oh,
Most people aren't when you first start.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
that's what the consultants are trying to tell us. I
Yes.
mean, let's be honest. They're
Mhm.
like, you all are too much. And we're
Mhm.
trying to get more people. Stop it.
Right. Be like, just like on your first date, you don't want to be too much. You want to slowly let them in on your
Just
crazy.
Warm
Mhm.
up. Exactly.
But after listening to them and getting to know their stories, I love them. They make you laugh and cry, making you feel like you really are in the fam. I miss Scotty, but I love Kelvin, and his laughter makes me crack up every time. I literally do not listen to anything else except you guys. Continue doing what you're doing, platypus. Thank you,
Aw.
Alexis. And then just two more real quick ones. This is from Leah. Ooh, okay, Leah. I started listening to Miguel and Holly when they came to Tampa for Play 98.7.
Oh, that's an OG. That's like my friend Aaron. That's like that was 10, 12 years ago
Yeah,
now.
it was 2011 to 2012.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kramer. Miguel and Holly's
yeah.
caring and beautiful souls had me instantly hooked. After they departed Tampa the first time, I continued listening to them on Island 106. Shout out to Mandy and Jimmy.
Oh,
wow.
Goodness gracious, yes.
It was an honor to follow Miguel and Holly as they started their own morning show. I know it took a bit for Holly to get her name added, but it was always the Miguel and Holly show in my eyes. I was over the moon when they came back to Tampa for Hot 101.5. Shout out to Ryan and Scotty. Wow, you girl.
The whole roster.
Like you a silent producer over here.
I enjoyed being a part of the fam and community they built in Tampa Bay. Selfishly, I was sad to hear about the move to Hits, but I always remembered Miguel's comment that life begins at the end of your comfort zone.
Oh, no, that's right.
Oh, I knew it was an amazing opportunity. That really hit. Oh, God. Thank you. I knew it was an amazing opportunity and that it wasn't goodbye. Just see you later. Kelvin has been a great addition, bringing the perfect amount of sass and humor to the show. Miguel and Holly, I've enjoyed sharing in the good times as well as rooting you on in the difficult times. Thank you for being a light in the world, inspiring us all and sharing your souls with us. Love, 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 love you lots. Leah. Girl.
So sweet.
I wasn't ready.
I'm part of the roster.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to this one here. This is from.
What's that face and tone? Oh God, that's a bad one.
No, it's not. This is all good.
Oh,
wait, hold on. Hold on. I need to get some different music here. Hold on. It's so funny because you can tell I don't look at these before, so I was like, I just saw the title and I was like, ow!
Oh gosh. Oh dear.
Hold on. Here we go. All right. This is from KJR0621. The subject line is Kelvin is so incredibly sexy.
Wow. Do tell. Do tell.
Here we go. Never heard a voice like his. It's the cackle in his laugh. His enticing whispers of sweet nothings and his impeccable delivery of his Spanish just tickles me pink.
Me gusta, mi amor.
Oh!
Miguel and Holly are cool too.
Just don't even say anything. You don't have to even add us in. We don't need it.
That's about Kelvin, girl.
Yes.
Could have wrote that.
Who is KJR?
That's random.
Sorry.
Those are my.
Wait a minute. That's your.
Oh,
initials.
it's
621. That's my birthday. Someone hacked me.
Silly goose.
Someone hacked me.
Silly goose. So you said KJR. I was like Kelvin Julio Ramirez.
Somebody hacked my phone.
Wow.
That's
okay.
wild.
Okay.
The Russians or something.
It was the Russians.
Whispers of sweetness.
There you go. Well, thank you for that cackle.
I appreciate you very much. Sexy bitch.
I wanted to get us to 500.
Well, we are at 503.
Oh. Okay.
So here's what we're going to do. All right. So.
Wait, really quick. I'm sorry. I cannot move on. What's really your middle name?
Javier.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I wasn't like terribly far off with Julio. Very sexy Hispanic name. Okay. Now you may proceed.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. At the end of the podcast, I'm going to tell you how you're going to win $50.
Like
you will see why I have to wait till the end.
Yes, you better say why, because honestly, you're
extra.
The teasing is not for the hardcore. Like,
well, but we also this isn't a tease. This is just to make it fair for the people that listen that don't watch. Because clearly, if I did it now the way I'm going to do it, it would only the people that are watching would be able to win. So I want to make it fair. So you're going to have to like go and listen to figure out how to do it. So right at the end, when it's like Miguel and Holly Uncensored, there's a little part at the end that we leave that you can only hear. So you have to listen to that, and then we'll tell you how.
Okay. Because when it posts to like the podcasting platforms, everyone will still will have the same opportunity.
It'll be a fair shot,
yes.
Right? But obviously, will be who gets to it first. So if you like are a person that waits 5 days, Well, there is literally no way for us to, make it fair. So that's part of a
yeah.
podcast giveaway. So, all right. There was, what else did I want to get to? There was that. We'll do Would You Rather towards the end. But Holly, I wanted to bring up what you talked about earlier during this show off the air.
Yeah.
That I'm so sorry. You were telling me and you felt so spirited.
I did.
But I was in the middle of sending a really important email and I was like,
I know, sorry. Sorry.
So yes. So what were you telling me?
All
So
right.
apparently it was something you saw on social media.
It was, and I just scrolled past it, and like, honestly, in theory, it's, I think, supposed to be like a wonderful, loving sentiment. And so I was trying to think more about it because I really was firing off at the mouth when I was telling you that was not necessarily for public consumption. However,
Was I in the bathroom?
No, you were here. You just weren't paying attention.
you weren't paying attention. It's no big deal.
Okay,
It's fine.
That's fine.
Let me hang on a second. Let me.
Well, it was like at an unfortunate time, time where
Because
like
I just saw it and I was like, you know what grinds my gears?
and meanwhile I'm like,
Miguel's
yeah,
like,
Holly, what grinds?
girl, what you gotta say?
And then Kelvin was like looking over here at his computer editing something, and I was like, I'm sorry, Holly, we're not giving you the attention that you need right now. I was like,
I'm
save for the
so-
podcast.
I know. And then I was like, I feel like they don't really want this on the podcast, but it's
No, I do, because what it
This
was,
is your moment.
right? It was interesting, but I wanted time to like really digest it.
All right, so here it is. I happened to see a very lovely Facebook post from a friend making a post about his wife, and they've been together for a long time, and it was a beautiful post, except one thing caught me. Like, it catches me every damn time I see this, and this is why, I don't know, today for whatever reason I was like, it grinds my gears. Like, why does it do this to me sometimes? This let's just say this man was making a post about his wife, and in one of the things, it's like, obviously it's like, oh, I love you so much and you're such a great partner to me. And then in this post he said, and you gave me our beautiful children. That's what grinds my gears. It could be a man saying it. Usually it's the man saying it for me that just really grinds my gears, but a woman could say it too and it would grind my gears. And then I had to put some parameters on it because I was like, is it every time someone says that? Because let's talk about for a second people that are no longer together with their child's co-parent.
Mhm.
So like, and let's say like you have let's say it's a woman who had like a child with this man that she hates now. He's a terrible person. And she's like, well, he did give me this beautiful child. I feel less weird about that. But when it's like a married couple or like a partnership, you don't have to be married, but when you're with that person and the man or the woman is like, you gave me these children, I want to be like, nuh-uh. Like, you had them together. Like, they're the culmination of the two of you. I don't know, for whatever reason, it just rubs me wrong and makes me feel kind of like, it gives me the ick when I hear a man say, I love my wife because she gave me these children.
Do you think because it sounds like, oh, well, the only thing she's good for is breeding, and so I knocked her up, and then she gave me a child, and that's really all I wanted her
Is that
for?
how you're seeing it or hearing it?
I'm
Or
hearing
is that the
it,
connotation that phrase gives you?
it's in general that,
Right.
but it's more like,
It's like they're offering up their womb to you, and they're like, hey, I just met you can I have that womb?
Yeah, I guess what it is like in my head. So let me try and explain it because I feel like I'm gonna make people mad about this, and I'm sorry. I don't mean
really
to.
want to understand.
I guess what makes me angry is like we came together and had a baby, and she birthed said baby, and now it's mine. Thanks for your hard work. These are my children, not yours, mine. Thanks for doing that. Like, thanks for using your body. I appreciate you, but this is mine. It feels like it's like, I don't like the ownership connotation, and I feel like it can go both ways. Where a woman is like, thanks to my man for giving me these children. It just makes it feel like it's not shared. Like, you didn't have a child for the two of you. It's just like, I own them, and thanks for doing that for me. Where if I'm taking it that way as the woman, I'm like, I didn't do it for you. I did it for both of us. And like, I put a lot of time, effort, and love. This is my project too. Like, I should get to share in these children. Like, they're not just yours, they're also mine. I don't know.
I would feel more offended if I had the bad relationship with my partner and then they said that. Because when they're together, I feel like what he's really communicating, I don't know who this person
and
is.
Everyone does this. Everyone does
Right.
it. I see it on all the posts. So it's clearly only me that feels this way.
I would think that they're communicating like, thank you for making our family whole if they're together. Like, thank you for making our family whole because you gave us
But you did.
He gave us this family. He didn't say us. Yes.
No, and
but
that's
I would
the problem.
assume that's what he means though, because if they're separated, I don't like. I know what you're talking about. I don't like when they say, "But they gave me this child," and it's like, what?
Right.
Like they didn't
It's
get,
like,
you guys both made it when you were in love, assuming.
Right. Like, or maybe whatever. Yeah. There's a lot of nuance. Obviously, I'm painting with a very broad brush. So gray is the name of the game here.
I just think it's the verbiage. What I think it comes down to is because I watch a lot of period pieces that deal with back in the day, and so much of it, especially when you watch anything dealing with royalty back in the day, when a woman's sole job was to produce an heir that needed to be male. And if they didn't, or if they for some reason couldn't have children, then they were tossed aside.
Like useless.
Right.
Like, well, you couldn't do the one thing you were supposed to do. So like, what good are you?
Like literally that's all you were supposed to do. I mean, like watching Queen Charlotte, like that's what you're supposed to produce an heir. That's it. And so I think what it is I don't think that it's like those people and what they're saying. I think it's you're getting like trauma from like that verbiage of like where that came from, of like, you gave me this, like your job as my wife
is to provide
a heir. Otherwise, I'm going to go over here to my concubines and have my fun and my pleasure, but you're supposed to give me an heir.
And it might be that. Like, I can't explain, because clearly my brain is like probably one of the only ones that ain't clicking with this. Because it's not just this one of my friends that does. It's so many of my friends.
Right.
Thanks to my wife for giving me these beautiful children. I obviously think it's meant to be a beautiful sentiment, but I'm not taking it that way. Like it's hitting me weird.
I wonder what would be more cohesive, not cohesive. What would be a more...
I think what Kelvin said. Like,
thank you for making our family whole.
Right. Thank you for providing our family with, or like...
I don't see, but I feel type of way about whole, because then I feel like if someone can't have kids, children, and then they're like, oh, so my family's not whole because I don't have kids. See, it's like it's
tricky.
The offensive Olympics. My God,
yes, it's fucking tricky. What can he just say? Thank you for providing us with these beautiful children.
Isn't it the same thing?
You know what? You're fucked no matter what you're. Because I was like,
yeah, because is that the same thing?
No, it's not.
I would take it. It's the same sentiment to me, right?
You said thank you for providing.
Listen, you're talking about like completely two different pronouns here. Us and me.
Oh, okay.
Like, thank you for providing us. Like, yes. By the way, like the man obviously has to be part of it, but the woman has like literally grown this human. So I think it's applicable to say the word providing. Thank you for providing us, meaning both of us, with these children, because they're both of ours. We've put in the time,
right?
As opposed to, and it's the me versus us. Thank you for providing me. You're not part of this.
Yes.
You provided me with these kids.
I would say it's more appropriate to say me if they're separated, but because they're together, the me is a little weird. Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Now we're. Now
I'm sorry. Okay, and I wasn't even explaining it right. So yes, now that I break it down and I didn't even know it in my head, it's the providing me. Like, I'm the only one that gets the benefit of these children. You
I
just
can see it. I can see it now.
Birthed them.
That's why I think words really do matter. I mean, and it's so important when you put a certain emphasis on something. And we've all, especially doing this job, when you are talking real fast and you're saying stuff,
it can be problematic, and we don't even mean it to be.
And especially because because I'm doing like 5 things at once, and then there are times where like in my head I know this is what I had planned to say, but then because I'm like clicking on something real quick, and then I look over at Holly, and Holly's like, what the actual fuck did you just say? And I'm like, well, here's what I thought I said. That's why you hear me on the air be like, wait, what did I say? Because I thought that's what I said.
Right.
But because my mind is usually doing 5 things at one time when we're doing the show.
I'm the safety net.
Right.
because I'm hearing what listeners are hearing. So if you misspoke accidentally,
Right.
like someone was like, "What the fuck?" Then I'm like, "I'm sorry, you probably meant this."
Right.
Mhm.
And I
Right.
don't mean it in like a school marm kind of way. I mean it in like a clarification because I know that that's not what you meant.
And I've always been that way. Even like to back to like the AOL, AIM. Like my mind is thinking way faster than what is coming through my mouth or my fingers typing. And
Mhm.
so when I'll read back what I wrote, and I'm like, the hell did you just say? My God, that doesn't make any sense. But in my head, it made perfect sense what I said.
Yeah.
So words matter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And I'm not trying to like obviously if you say that and you mean it in a different like you clearly you mean it as like a compliment to your wife or your husband or whatever, that's fine. And I'm not like coming for you. I'm just saying it hits me wrong. That's all.
I don't know nothing about birth and no babies.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Wait,
Thank
hold
you.
on. That was the you're his enticing whispers of sweet nothings.
Mhm.
There you go.
And your impeccable delivery of Spanish. Thank you.
Then
You just tickled me pink, Kelvin. Thank you.
that's my favorite color.
I did want to spend a hot second before we get to Would You Rather on this whole Jada Pinkett and Will Smith situation. Because
Okay.
speaking about things hitting you wrong, like I've been reading all the memes and reading everyone's comments. And I didn't want to bring this part about it up on the air this morning. So for Can't Let It Go, that was my whole like, people are saying, girl, why you telling us all your business? Stop. Go away. We've heard it all. You've been telling us all your business about you and Will and your relationship since Red Table Talk. Bitch, we done. And then even this morning, I saw someone where I don't know if this was real or not, but apparently Red Table Talk's supposed to be coming back in 2024.
Oh, I thought that was like a funny haha that I had seen, but is it really?
Right. I'm not, like I said, I don't know. I didn't verify. I just saw
Yeah.
someone post it. But the whole thing was like, girl, we don't want to hear about that anymore. So listen, go with me here. I feel like that really bothers me that people are saying this to a Black woman.
Mm.
And so often Black women are not believed and they're not heard and they're not listened to.
Mhm.
And so that's why this whole narrative, this week and a half, as she's been sort of giving her truth
Mhm.
on, even if you're like, girl, why she got to say Tupac all the time? She bringing him up to, sell books. But like, that's her story. And I think what really has grind my gears about it this week is that like, she knew Tupac back in the day. I knew Holly back in the day. And if Holly, you were to suddenly pass away, you've had such a big part of my life. I would always talk about you. I would always bring you up.
Mhm.
And so for people to diminish what she actually lived when
Mhm.
we did not know him or her, who the fuck are you to tell someone not to tell their story?
Yeah.
And so that's why, as I've been watching all these memes, and I've just been like really trying to, every time I see it, I'm like, well, that's annoying. That's annoying. And then last night, because a podcast I listened to, they made some comments, and I was like, I think way more highly of you than you to take that take.
Yeah. I feel like that's a popular and easy low-hanging fruit to take.
Right. And I'm like, let Jada Pinkett Smith tell her story. And if you don't want to listen to an interview, if you don't want to read her book, turn it off.
Right.
Yeah. That's what bothers me about anything where people are like, nobody wants to hear this.
Right.
When you say nobody, do you mean you?
Yourself.
Because what group of people are you representing?
Right.
I feel that way, and I don't want to throw in like a white woman into this because you're talking about a Black woman, but I feel that way about the Britney Spears book too.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And silencing women in general, but you're especially right about Jada. Like, let this woman speak. Like, can it be like, do I sometimes see like an additional update and I'm like, that update's not for me.
Right.
But I would never be like, I hate this.
Right.
What's the point? Like, but you've commented, so it's obviously gotten your attention. Like, if I'm not interested in this part of her telling of the story, I'm just gonna keep on scrolling by it. Not stopping her from talking about it.
I don't know if this is contributing to the conversation, but I frankly don't give a fuck about what's going on with Taylor Swift. And I feel like that's also getting a shit ton of attention. And I feel like one of those people that you're talking about, which is, well, if you don't want to hear about it, don't. But I can't. So what's the advice there?
Mm.
The Jada
Well-
stuff is far more interesting to
Mhm.
me.
Right,
I
right.
do find myself saying like, okay, like they had an unconventional relationship.
Sure.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
But the same thing with Taylor Swift. Like, I don't care. She always has a boyfriend, and that's great. Find
Mhm.
love and as many times as you want in life. I just don't care.
Mm.
So is it that it's coming across your plate and you don't want it to come across your plate at all? Or are you looking at it and you're just reading it?
I
What
don't
is it?
understand what the obsession is with her relationships.
I
I
think-
don't get it.
I think people are more obsessed with her
Yes.
than her relationships.
Mm.
And they feel a particular closeness, I think, with Taylor Swift. Like, I will say this, she's a different type of celebrity
Mhm.
because she does allow a weird level of access, which is, I don't know how she does it, honestly, because she's so big, but you still feel like you know who she is
Right.
Mhm.
for real.
Mhm.
Obviously, we don't.
Mhm.
But the way that she does what she does, it makes people feel like they've got a friend in her. And so because of that, I think that the people that do like her are interested, just like I'd be interested if in your relationship, and they want the best for her because
Mm.
they are protective and they feel like, this is their friend and they've been along on this ride, like kind of like how people feel about us.
Mhm.
They're invested in her relationships. And I think that's the obsession. Not necessarily that it's like they only care about relationships with her. I think they also care because look at how big the story was when she decided to re-record her masters.
Mhm.
Not about a relationship, just about her, but people were still invested. And I think it's because they feel like they know her and who she
Mhm.
is. But so backing it up, so I get it from your perspective too. I do get it because I'm trying to think. I think any of us could probably weigh in on like a pop culture moment that we really could not give two shits about. And it seems to be populating in our news feeds all the time. And we're like,
Pete
why?
Davidson.
Because we don't get okay, right.
Mhm.
Because we don't get it and we're not latched into that. It doesn't speak to us.
Mhm.
But does it make you want to be like, stop sharing this? I hate it. Like, who do you tell that to? Do you make comments online? This is just me talking.
Mhm.
I don't have an agenda here. So it's like, if you're upset about that and you're super upset about it, do you go so far as to like on your social media, block those words, block those phrases so that you simply don't have to see that
Do
stuff?
something about it.
Like, yeah, like,
Mhm.
yes, you're sick of it, but also we all live on the internet and we're going to be given the stuff the internet is giving us this day. So instead of just feeling like the victim of an onslaught of Jada or Britney or Taylor or Pete Davidson or whoever, I think we have to take some accountability to be like, I'm so over this that I'm just going to go ahead and block the word Taylor from my newsfeed. I had to do that with abortion, by the way,
Mm.
on Twitter. Because for some reason I get on these, you know how there's like this Twitter, that Twitter. Somehow I landed on abortion Twitter and like I like to read about like, women's rights and things like this. So for a while I was really interested in some of the discourse that was happening. But it got to be like literally every third post was
Mm.
about something. And it wasn't just a little news story. It was like a fucking in-depth, back and forth. People are fighting, people are name calling and this and that. And that was me. I was like, I can't take this. I'm like, yes, I'm, for women's rights and for women's bodily autonomy, but it's not part of my daily personality. I would not like it to be
Right.
part of my daily personality. I have
Your
other things that I'm
timeline
worried
page.
about. Right.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I went in and I on Twitter was like, nope, don't want to see abortion. At least for like the next few weeks, for God's sakes. Like I have other things that I'm interested in my life besides this. And so I blocked it and then it went away and I forgot about it. And I was like, and I didn't even think about it till right this second.
Mhm.
Mm.
I took myself out of that narrative.
I think that was something that we as a society have to remember is that we can take charge of our social media and we can choose to partake in the conversation or not partake in the conversation. So like if this week we're talking about Taylor Swift or this week we're talking about Jada or next week we're going to be talking about Britney because that's when the book comes out. Maybe that's your time to be like, you know what, I'm going to take a sabbatical from Instagram this week, only for like what work I have to do. And I feel like that is the way to sort of like get yourself out of that cycle.
The constant.
Because like for me, like a lot of the social media accounts I follow on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, it's a lot of political stuff. And right now I'm so over this whole like Speaker of the House with the Republicans and all of that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump back in the conversation when they finally have figured it out. But the like, because the stuff is changing so quickly. And I'm like, I don't care about the nuances. I want to be there when they finally decide who it is, because then that's going to affect what actually happens. So that's why you just have to choose to be like, I want to be a part of this narrative or not.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. And I think it just comes to a little bit of, I think we are all so wrapped into the internet and social media, and because we're literally, our phones are right here. They're glued to your hand. So you're always on it. And it feels like we're just in the ocean and we're just this getting thrown in my face, and so is this. And it can make you feel like a victim of, I hate this news cycle. But turns out you got like a couple of oars back here, which are like the filters. So you can be like, you know what? I forgot this making me really angry. I'm going to take charge and put it to the side for now. And I know there would be people that say, well, you can't bury your head in the sand about abortion or what's going on in the Middle East or whatever. But like for your own mental health, are you one person making a huge difference by being up to date with every single thing of every single day? No, the fuck you're not. You can give yourself a break for your own mental health. I think that's important to note too. I haven't really thought about that yet.
Jody said, part of my issue with Jada is that I did watch a Red Table Talk and I felt like they were trying to teach how to improve your life with therapy and things. And now we find out it was all a lie. It feels like a scam. Now, I will say, Jody, if you are looking at just the memes and what people like, the quick comments, and not really listening, it can feel like that. But and this is what really got me thinking down this path that I'm on, is I listened to Jada's interview on Fresh Air on NPR with Terry Gross, where she does a really great job, and she's been doing this for decades, where she interviews celebrity, and it's not like Jada on the Today Show where it's a 3-minute quick conversation. This is a 45-minute, let's thoughtfully think about what we're saying. And what I took from that conversation, which is why I kind of want to read the book now, is that it's still evolving. Like, they don't understand. I think sometimes we put too much pressure on celebrities and we look at them and we go, you are the example. Like, everything that you say, you must be living.
An expert.
Right. You're an expert on it. Where it's like everything that we say on the show, like that comment said about how I've been saying for years, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Yes, that's one of my mantras. But are there times where I don't follow that? 100%, because I'm human and she's human. And so in that moment when they were doing the show, they probably were believing and living by what they said.
Right.
But then, like, also they're personal, private human beings that they don't want to spill every single thing, and we're not entitled to every single thing. So I think that sometimes we just got to remember that these celebrities are actually human beings as well.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think it's hard when it's yourself. Like,
right.
I have a friend who is going through a divorce right now. And so obviously she's been, reaching out and leaning on me a lot because I've been through a divorce. Ex and I got divorced in 2015. And so she's in the throes of it. And I forgot how long it takes sometimes to actually like think to your like know in your heart this is over. And so I had forgotten all of the different variations of what you're going through in the day-to-day when your marriage is unraveling. And so for example, like, she gets it when it comes to like, therapy. Like, she is a fan of therapy. And if, like, for example, I was in a relationship in college that went through some ups and downs, and she was my best friend right through it. And sometimes she would be like, this is a little crazy, right? And I would be like, yeah, I know it's crazy. And so when it comes to that, she would be able to give really good advice if you had sat her down on a panel or something and someone said to her, how can someone really improve they were like, what shit shouldn't you take in a relationship? And she'd probably be able to bam, 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 be like, well, obviously don't tolerate this, because she can be like, I love this about her, and she knows I would say this. I would say it. I have said it to her face. This woman is a bitch sometimes. And so she knows that she's not going to take some shit. Like, this is her in life. Now, when she's going through this very difficult time, I'm looking at some of her personal decisions and I'm like, why are you letting yourself be walked on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were outside this situation and this was your friend, you'd be like, why are you putting up with some bullshit right now?
Right.
But she's in it. Like, we can really give good advice because we know this when it comes to being outside of the drama, right? Or not the drama, but the situation. Sometimes when we're actually in it, it's really hard to follow that same advice. Or we have on like a little bit of Delulu glasses where we're not seeing reality.
Real thick glasses.
Rose-colored.
Those glasses are worse than beer goggles.
Girl.
And it's really hard to put those into practice in your everyday life. I use this example because it's easier than just being like, here's what happened to me. But like, I'm seeing it in real time. And like on the outside, I'm like, oh, what are you doing? But I have to give her grace and I have to give myself grace because I'm like, obviously, like, I can give great advice all day, but I'm not the one going through it hour by hour, sleeping in that bed at night, waking up and making breakfast in the house the next morning. So I'm gonna give some grace right there. And I think it's the same, like what Miguel was saying with celebrities, where it's like, these are human people and they're going to sit up there and give like these rousing speeches on award shows and blah, blah, blah. But like, I think every one of us humans has a really hard time untangling that in our own personal life.
Especially when you're living it day to day.
In the public.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Clean the palate.
It's time for a rousing game of Would You Rather?
Fun.
Palate cleanser.
Here we go. Would you rather have a booger hanging from your nose for the rest of your life or earwax planted on your earlobes?
It's the earwax for me, 100% all day, every day. I have a very weird thing about snot and boogers. Like, I don't know why, but like, that is a really, I can't handle that. I can clean up poop. I can clean up pee, but when it comes to snot, I'm like,
yeah, because I feel like earwax, you could at least, if you have long hair, cover it up.
yeah, or
But
like
when you have booger hanging from your nose, like it's there, like in pictures,
on your face,
like it's there all the time. Whereas unless you are
gross.
Turning to the side or something, you wouldn't be able to see the earwax that well.
Right. Both gross, but I feel like people are less inclined to look in your ears and be like, wow, that's a lot of wax in there compared to a booger that's right in front of your face. And sometimes they come in different colors, sizes, shapes.
You know what's really gross? If you have AirPods or anything that goes in your ear, I whenever I get my AirPods, it's always, I don't even look, I'm just like, doop, boop, boop. And the other day I was at the airport and I was looking inside the case and I was disgusted.
Take a picture.
I was like, wait a minute, what is happening? Because I feel like I'm really big about ear health and making sure I am. Like, I clean my ears and like, I know you shouldn't use Q-tips, but I try to just do the outer edges. I even go so far as I get Kleenex and I wrap it around my finger and I get in to get the earwax out. Girl, apparently my ears just said, we're earwax factory.
Are you talking about your actual AirPods or in the case?
Both. You want to see it?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
kinda,
I want
yeah,
to
a
see
little
it.
bit.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
All right, I'll take a picture. I was so disgusted. I was hungover as hell on Monday coming from Atlanta, and I ordered an AirPod cleaning kit.
That's
I thought
good.
you
That's-
had an AirPod cleaning kit.
I left it in the studio where our previous radio station.
I told you to clean it out.
Girl, that
Yeah.
last day we were just
Yeah, it was a
time.
I think I may have blacked it out. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it was a lot. All right, here's another would you rather. Would you rather bring back Michael Jackson or Marilyn Monroe from the dead?
Okay, this is going to be awkward because I have been a Marilyn Monroe stan for quite some time. As a matter of fact, my sorority in college, Alpha Zeta Delta, there's like families within the sorority of like your big sister, your grand big, your littles. Everyone, there's like a different families. My family was the Monroe family. And when I got my big, I was like, Monroe, because everybody else was like an animal or a flower. It was like the the rabbit family, the daisy family, the tulip family, and we're the Monroes. I was like, where does this come from? She's like, my grand big was like, I think it was James Monroe, the president.
Oh.
And I was like, well, not anymore. We're going to go ahead and make it about Marilyn. And we're now the
Absolutely.
Monroe divas. Like I was a pain in the ass when I was in college. Sometimes I cringe about it. But as a Monroe diva, I had all things Marilyn Monroe. I was her for Halloween like 3 years in a row, I think.
I think I remember those
great
pictures.
costumes. So I had posters. I was a Marilyn fanatic. Having said all that, I'd bring back Michael.
All that story for just...
Well, no, I had to say the story so you understand why it was such a heavy decision for me to say. Like, obviously, I should have picked Marilyn. I picked Michael. I think I picked Michael.
Yeah.
The music, right?
I would only bring him back if we have the same regard for him that we had after he died.
That's another reason why I wanted to bring him back. Because now you hear Michael Jackson and we talk about Michael Jackson as though he were a musical genius.
Right.
And I would want for him to feel that.
Because he did not experience that the last 20 years he was alive.
No,
Girl,
exactly
the way the Jacko, the Sicko.
Wacko Jacko.
The movies.
They
make fun of him.
Yes. He was just the laughing stock of the entire world.
Yeah.
And like everyone just conveniently forgot that he gave us the Thriller album. And he was such a musical, and he had such I feel like Britney Spears is going through right now. Like he had such a traumatic
oh my gosh
upbringing and all of that. So like this was just a very deeply wounded and hurt and traumatized man that manifests itself in different ways.
Right.
But I would want him to feel like, because like now somebody says Michael Jackson, the first thing you're gonna get is something about his music, and people don't really like. I don't even know if today's like young Gen Zers would even really remember that circus that was those tabloids.
Oh no, they don't know it. Yeah,
when they're holding over the thing.
Baby.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
God.
they don't know.
I would want a documentary when he comes back. Well, I'm sorry, not when. If we were to bring him back to life. There's a lot that I don't know about him and the reasons why he did certain things. I think though that if he were to be brought back, he would probably get the whole like, I don't know, a bunch of accusations, the whole court treatment. I feel like that would be his life now.
Ooh, if that were the case, then I wouldn't bring him back because obviously you don't want to make it worse.
I don't know. I feel like because I remember the day that he died. I'll never forget this. We were in Panama City and I had to go to Destin to get some tooth stuff done. And half my face was like droopy. And I remember one of my friends from college, Samantha, called me, and because we love Michael Jackson together and we'd go on road trips and listen to him. And she was like, Michael's dead. And I was like, what? And I remember trying to get into touch with our boss at the time, Chris Allen, on our station Island 106, because I was also pre-recording the night show. So I wasn't there live. It was just pre-recorded. I was like, well, I'm going to go in and change some of my breaks to just say, hey, Michael has passed. I will never forget, because I've never experienced this since then. That was the only time I've felt this in my life. I walked into that studio and the phone lines were just lit up. And I was like, Island 106, it's Miguel. Miguel.
Yeah, I was going by Miguel.
I was like, Miguel. oh my God, Michael's dead. I can't believe it. Can y'all play some Michael? And I was like, well, hold on. 5 more phone calls. Everybody said that. So then I remember trying to call Chris and be like, hey, can I play at least one Michael?
Available? What
I
was he
don't
doing?
remember what happened, but he was not answering his phone at the time. And so I was like, I'm making an executive decision. We're playing nothing but Michael. So I called one of our interns up and I had him burning songs because our system was janked back then. And he was literally like burning songs. And we, at 7 p.m., we played Michael for, I think, 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
and
I listened the whole time. It was
my
amazing.
God, that was one of those like magical times of radio that I will never forget, of like truly being one with the audience, and like everyone was grieving and they turned to their favorite radio station for consoling and to feel like they're a part of something.
Exactly, to share in a moment together.
Yes, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
All right, here's the last one. Let's go through this quickly. And this one, all right, because I don't pre-read these, but as I was copy and pasting to put it on the graphic, this strikes me weird. I don't know how I feel about this one. Would you rather be blind or castrated?
Miguel.
Listen.
No, this is
castrated where?
Where the fuck you think?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking amputated.
Okay.
Oh, no,
English wasn't his first language. It's okay. It's okay. That makes it okay. It's okay.
Wait, what did you say on the air the other day that you didn't know?
Pedestrian was a bad word.
Shut up.
But you don't understand. The fact that English wasn't your first language really makes it okay, because other people are like, what? And
wait, because you were like,
hard.
I forgot the context, but pedestrian, and you were like, oh no, because it was train wreck.
It was train wreck.
And you were like, oh, I don't want to say that's a bad word.
You're like, I don't know. And then you're like, but you did think, no, but it wasn't like in this moment. You were like, I used to think that word still gets me, because you used to think it was a bad word.
Yes.
And I was like,
off the
where
air.
would you see it that you thought it was a bad word? So you're like on signs, like when it said pedestrian crossing. I was like, I gotta know, like, what word did you think it was? Tell us, please tell us.
Prostitution.
So you thought pedestrian. So it's like
they're close.
Prostitution walking.
Yeah. It's a crossing of hoes.
I don't know.
It's a hoe walk.
I didn't know.
No, you didn't because so, and I could see castrated, amputated, they mean similar things, but there is a very specific connotation with castrated that amputated does not.
Right.
Share.
Listen, these would you rather, like I said that one time, Holly got all in her feels about it. These are not supposed to be, would you rather have Oreos or would you rather have cinnamon buns?
Those are sweet ones. They're nice.
Would you rather have a
treat of would you rather
Swiss cake roll or oatmeal cream pie?
They don't, like, yeah, no.
Would you rather be blind or castrated?
Jesus.
I do have a question that may make me an absolute dummy. Like, does this question work for women?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about like genital mutilation here,
Unfortunately,
right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So I do want to say we're not making light of this.
No.
But this is a would you rather question. I'm thinking, I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm having a really hard time wrapping my mind around castrated. So I may need to just do a Google search.
Yeah, I want to go straight to blind.
I'm going to use my phone. I'm not going to use my work laptop for this one.
If you're on the Wi-Fi, they can still see
Actually,
it.
I don't know.
I don't care
Actually,
what
no,
they
I
see.
take
This
that
is my
back.
own personal device.
I take it back.
I'm sorry, what?
I'd say blind.
But is using your
If you want to have
the
kids.
most important? Yeah, if you want to have kids,
Mhm.
experiencing pleasure.
Because I mean, with it, don't they take everything?
Yeah.
Just the ball.
It's, I think it's everything, but I'm not 100. I've never done research on it, so I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
Then if you're blind, you can't see anything,
Mhm.
experience anything.
But you can, because there are blind people that live very great.
Yes.
Stevie Wonder
absolutely
lives
absolutely.
a very productive,
You can.
wonderful life, and he has made amazing music.
Yeah.
So that's why I would go with Blind.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's tough.
Mm.
I guess you'd have to really sit down and think what's more important, as if obviously in this context of a choice, nobody chooses any of those.
I don't. At this time, I would like to petition for Oreos and cinnamon buns. Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Choose it right now.
I think I would.
Don't
Is
say
it like horrifically painful?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'll go with Blind.
Just go with Blind.
But that
Holly.
can change.
Just
No,
go with-
I
Yeah,
don't
it
want to
can
go with Blind. I don't want to say that because I'm afraid someone's gonna like break in my house and do that to me. Like,
No.
like you wanted it. Like I'm afraid.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Well, you have to think about these things. You said it on a podcast, so I came here to do.
Oh,
Good
I don't want to
Lord.
put it into the universe.
That's actually a pretty cool movie idea.
I'm.
Like a stalker
Is
for
it?
radio personalities
Oh.
or just any media personnel.
Oh my god! Like,
Do you
that
know,
scene-
like, there's why I will never do a segment about eulogies, because there's
A
a radio
segment?
personality. This is just a segment that people have done,
Yeah.
where it's like, what would happen if you die? Like, and we give
Oh my
eulogies
God.
for each other. What would you say? But
Oh,
they make it
God.
funny, and it's like, oh, well, he was the worst at this, and blah blah blah. But then there was a radio personality where they did that bit, and then like 2 weeks later, that person passed away. One of them passed away. And I was like, I will never do that. That's a bit I will never do. Like, remember back in the day, we used to do these things with Kramer in Panama City called mixtape challenges.
Oh yeah, remember we had a funeral mixtape?
Like, what song would you want at your funeral? Which, I mean, one day that is something that, by the way, if that ever happens to me, I'd want Whitney Houston at mine.
Yes. No,
well,
noted.
You
Mhm.
noted
Aretha Franklin.
already had
Aretha
been-
Franklin, yeah.
been
Tina
said.
Turner.
Tina
It is
Turner.
actually awkward because when I had to do that for my mom, I was like suddenly panicked. I'm like, what was that one church song? What's that church song called? It goes. I'm like, I can't. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of important.
So
to know.
that is something that you should, because at my friend Brandon's funeral, we played a Whitney Houston song, but it was like one of the most heart-wrenching moments because like it's such a happy song, and then we're all like just like crying because we're thinking about all the times we listened to it with him, and I'm like, that's what I want. I want y'all to just remember the good times.
That's so awkward.
Mm.
It reminds me of that scene in Love Actually when that wife died, and it's like the Bay City Rollers song, and it's like bye bye baby, baby bye bye, and like Liam Neeson is like carrying the coffin, and you're just like, oh, this is horrific. I'd like to avoid that at my
Got it.
funeral. That's fine.
Very sad ending.
Yeah. Say something nice, Miguel. Say something funny.
Yeah.
Listen, lots of gay sex happened at Atlanta Pride last weekend.
That's not what I was looking for.
Oh,
yes.
wait, no, that's a good
Yes.
thing. People were celebrating. Hey, they were
Love.
celebrating the freedom to be able to do it.
Oh no, that's
I
right.
love it. I just didn't think we were going to end with sexual
Yeah.
after all that.
It's fine. We all do it.
The Charlotte FC's playing Messi
Yeah,
this
that's
weekend.
right.
And see, I have my
Messi's in
Charlotte
town.
FC shirt on, my
Messi's
Charlotte
in
FC
town.
Pride.
Is that what that
From-
is?
Yes, it's the Queen, Charlotte.
I thought it was Beyonce.
I thought it was supposed to be both like Black Lives Matter mixed with pride. I don't know what that is.
No, it's a Charlotte FC shirt.
Okay, it looks like
It's one of the
Yeah.
soccer things.
Black Lives Matter meets
Oh,
pride.
Yeah.
They're
And
just
of course,
messing
you
this
would
up.
wear that.
I
So they need to make it more clear.
Lots of gay
Weird.
sex.
Okay.
So, they're going to hold another vote on Jim Jordan as a Speaker of the House.
Good God.
There you go. There's your final thought for the day.
All right.
Producer Kelvin, how can people learn about pedestrians on your social media?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Teach each other English.
Oh,
Holly!
God. I'm really good at English, so I can help. Mine's Radio Holly everywhere. Yes.
Mine is Miguel Fuller. We will see you all on Monday. And don't forget, I'm about to tell you on the audio side, for those of you watching, how you can win $50. Bye.